This video is going to show how to separate a really large mesh in Blender. Some of you may have run into this, and hopefully we're currently working on some stuff that will automatically separate these big meshes when it runs through processing, and before you ever get your file, where they'll be a little bit smaller. But there's a thing where the 3DG in GS Pro will only show out to, and I get the number wrong, I think it's 500 meters. I can't remember exactly, but you may have run into it where in Unity everything looks good, your 3DG looks great, and then you go into either Greenkeeper or Arborist or GS Pro, and as you're going along, all of a sudden it disappears. Well, what happens is it will only show out to a certain point. So from this point out to here, and I think maybe it does it from the middle. So it's usually the edges where it won't show. So if this is the middle, then this corner may not show, or this corner may not show. And you can break this thing up into multiple pieces if you need to. Most of the time you can do it into two pieces. So there's a couple of important things to look at. And typically, I'm going to look at, this is a really good one because this is huge. And this one, I'm not going to pull this into Unity because I've already done this, but I can kind of explain. So this is going to be after you've already exported all of your FBXs. You've pulled everything into Unity and your meshes. You've already set mesh. You've applied 3DG, all that good stuff. And then you've noticed that it's not showing up. So you have to come back into Blender. And when you click on the big mesh, if you'll come over here and hit your number pad, period, it will maybe, yeah, there we go. It'll show you which one you're looking at. And this is important because what you're going to have to do in Unity is you will have to either hide, uncheck, or totally delete this mesh, because we're going to bring in two new FBXs and two new meshes. So make a note of what this one is, and then you've got it highlighted. We're going to tab in, so tab, and it will show all of the faces. All right, we don't want all of them, obviously, so we're going to click on one so that it gets rid of all of the other ones. And another really important thing here, let me drag this over a little. There we go. You want to go to X-ray mode so that it will grab all of these, because if you try to grab them from this high up, sometimes it'll miss one, and you definitely don't want that. So we're going to click X-ray mode. We're going to make sure faces is clicked. So we're in face select mode, and we're going to hit our C for circle select. Your scroll wheel can make that bigger or smaller. So on this, I'm selecting a lot, so I'm just going to make it big. Left click and drag, and make sure you get all of them selected. And we're going to go about halfway, so about right there. Come across. It doesn't really matter where you separate it. Halfway is usually a good starting point. And then if you see that this one is still too big, you could come back and do it again. You could separate this one again. So we've got our faces selected for half of it. We're going to the easiest way to get rid of this circle select, because you can't do anything with it up, is right click. When you right click, it gets out of that circle select mode. Kind of a little quick step there. And then we're going to go into this advanced mesh tools. All right, go drop down. We're going to go down to mesh separator in edit mode, expand that. And this was a deep rough, and we want it to still be deep rough. So we need to change this to deep. If you're separating a regular rough, you would select regular, but this one's a deep. So we're going to go deep. And then we're going to separate mesh. And if you watch right up here, this will gray out because it's going to get rid of it, and it will add two new ones. So we're going to go separate mesh. And you can see right up here, we got rid of the 250 piece one. It went gray. it added a 250 piece 101. Let me drag that over where you can see it. O1 and O2. All right. So now we've got one here and we've got one there. So we got two new ones. So we need to shift, highlight both of them, or you can click them over here if you want to. And then you're going to export those just like you do in FBX. So wherever you export those, if you've got them going straight into your Unity, great. If not, it'll go into your OPCD. You need to copy and paste those into your FBX folder in Unity. Then you will need to drag those FBXs into your meshes and set your materials and then apply your 3DG again because they're going to be brand new. So the real important part is to either hide or delete that original big rough piece, and then you'll have two smaller pieces. And that's pretty much it.